Hey everybody. I don't know if I'm gonna get this camera thing right. Not really, but I'll try and get it down so you can see what I'm doing. But I wound up having a free night, and I said, you know what? A couple people have asked to do live painting, so I said, let's give it a shot. So we're gonna paint. I found this. I cleaned my studio. And I found this piece of masonite that was prepped, got gesso on it, and ready to go. So I said, well, let's just use that, and if this works out, maybe this will be a design. So I have the design sketched onto it, and I have not painted this before, so this is a first for me, but I figured it just fun that I was going to paint it anyway, so if you guys wanted to follow along. So I have no idea if anybody's on here or not. I don't think anyone is, but that's okay. It's fine. I'm just going to paint like I'm doing my normal videos. So I'm going to move the phone down so that you can see. Just so you know, for anyone that doesn't live there in this area, we're supposed to have some storms. So hopefully they'll hold off for a while, and it won't be a big deal. It's not usually. And I think most of the storms are further north or further west. So anyway, we'll go ahead and get started. So this is a Elf in the Shelf inspired. One of my painters, Eric, had asked if I could come up with something for that, so I've been thinking about it, and I thought this was cute, and we'll see how it goes. So anyway, welcome to our live painting. It's actually literally the first one I've done since in 2 years, I think. I tried one at Easter a couple of years ago. So I'm hoping if this works out, I'll do it more often. And also, it should be okay. But I have 3 dogs, so they don't usually bark at night. Daytime, all day long. I try and make videos in daytime, and they just bark at everything. Every leaf going by, every FedEx truck, every person walking by. So it should be okay at nighttime. So let me go ahead and adjust this camera. Hopefully I'll adjust it so that you can see what I'm doing. It's difficult for me to see where it's at. There's that. There's that. Okay. You should be able to see. So anyway, even though I probably won't be able to see if you're there the way my camera is, feel free to comment. Let me know if you're here. And so we're going to get started with the background. And again, I'm kind of winging this. And I just kind of had an idea and went with it. I think that's a little too light. I'm going to darken it up with a little blue. And I think because this background's supposed to be kind of like a fuzzy tree out of focus, I'm okay with the brush strokes going any and every which way. As you can kind of see through. So I'm adding a little green, yellow, and some blue. So a variety of colors in the background is good. You want that. I think I'm going to pull darker green. Okay, so, sorry, I should have done this to begin with. I'm using a 1-inch flat, around like 4 or 6, something like that, and a liner, detail brush. The paint colors that I have pulled out are white and black, red, green, yellow, blue, brown, and a little bit of gold. And I put the brown next to the white because I'm going to have to mix that to make the skin tone. But I have a bit of a darker green. I'm going to throw a few drops of that on there. See if that makes a difference. And again, I am perfectly okay with the messy strokes because it's supposed to be a fuzzy, out of focused tree. I'm just trying to not go over the elf. I think I'm gonna have it be a little darker on the edges. But I think the messy brush strokes are good. Let's get around the edge of this here. Now you can use a smaller brush. You always use whatever brush you're comfortable with. You may start off feeling comfortable only with the smaller brush, and as you paint more, you'll get more comfortable using the bigger brush. And this is, like I said, it was masonite that I just happened to find that I prepped years ago for oil painting, and never used it. So if this works out, I'll paint this again, and maybe we'll have it at a paint party. If you want to see it at a paint party, please tell me in the comments, or even if you're watching this as a replay. Okay. Just go around the edge of the ornament. And the neat thing about this is because it's not canvas, there's no tooth, so it's very smooth going on. It also will show every messy brush stroke, but that's okay with this painting. I don't mind that. But I'll also be able to get some nice smooth lines too, because it is so smooth without any tooth from like the canvas, what the canvas has. Okay. The tiniest bit more of the darker green, which I'll do around the edges. Although I'm into messy strokes, I want to smooth some of them out. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to try something a little different. We're going to try and do a little bit of what they call a bokeh background. Soft lights. And what I'm using, I actually have sponges on the way that I'd ordered. But since I don't have them yet, these are for shooting. They are earplugs that you put in your ear. And so what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to take some yellow and white. I don't want too much on there. And put it down, give it a quick little circle. Quick little twist. And it's only working moderately okay. I kind of want these a little more like, a little more transparent. So, a little less paint on them. This is a first for me too. Kind of. Did something similar on this in a reindeer painting a couple years ago. So now I'm going to take another one. I want to mix my colors. And just for a bit of variety, maybe add a little bit of blue. I don't know. That might not look good. We'll try it. And I think we'll leave it at that for right now. And when it dries, we'll come back and do some brighter ones. All right, so this painting has a lot of red. So where should we start? I'm going to take my medium brush, not the big brush. I think I'm going to start, I'm also start with this hat on the top. Okay. Then we're going to move over to the big old red Christmas ball. In particular, the top part, because I want that dry for when I do the face. We're going to paint around his little gloves because I think I want to make them white. I could actually go to the big brush for this, but since I'm in this one, I'll just keep going. I am going to kind of go to the big brush, you know why? Because for this glass ball, I really want this paint to be as smooth as possible. And I'm having a hard time with the little brush to get smooth, even strokes. See now, as I'm coming in with the big brush, all those little brush strokes are going away. Now I'm going to come in for a minute with my little brush again because I want to, while this is still wet, I want to add a little shadow. So what I'm doing is I'm mixing a little bit of blue. I don't need a lot, just a little blue and a little red. Put a little bit on there. Now I'm cleaning my brush off, coming back in with straight red. Just kind of trying to blend it together. The other thing about using masonite or any smooth surface without the tooth of a canvas is that paint just really flows on it. It doesn't catch on anything. So it moves, so you can move the paint around, and sometimes you don't necessarily want the paint to move around. It's working out nicely. Just really softly wiping all the paint off the brush, and there's just kind of blending it in. Might not have been the best idea. Paint keeps moving. We'll get it. Also, I'm also painting flat, and I hate painting flat. Oh, this is not my favorite thing to do. But it makes it easier for you guys to see. All right, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a little bit more blue, a little bit more red. And I'm going to paint just the bottom. So I'm going to try the big brush and see if I can blend that in a little more. I like that. I just don't want any sharp edges, so I want it to be a very smooth transition. To paint off the brush. Okay. All right, so the next thing to do is his little booties. And we're going to start off with the darker, more purpley, because the bottom of his feet will be in shadow. Okay, so we're going to take a break from the red, and we are going to do our little tree branch. So basically, we're just going to draw just a little, doesn't have to be perfectly straight, just a line of brown. And I'm going to use the darker green and create I'm just moving my brush and just swiping it and lifting it up. It just needs to look like pine needles. So just need it to look like there's a branch that the Christmas bulb is hanging from. I think we'll create a few more brushy looking branches here and there. Just a few. Initially I just planned on that one, but I thought about it and I was like, I'm just around the edges. I'll put one down here. maybe a couple down there. I really kind of hemmed and hawed about what to paint. I was like, we could still do a fall thing. But I had been thinking about this design for a couple weeks. And so I said, let me try it out. So like, this is my own personal design. You'll have to let me know if you like it. All right, I think that's enough of that. Oh, we have one more red to do. I'm going to use the detail brush for that though. We have to do his little outfit. Yay. Well, for some reason, this looks a little messy down here. I don't know what happened here. So I'm going to kind of try and clean up a little bit here. Alrighty, so. Oh, you know what I forgot? Well, I can get back to that. Whoops. That is not his hair. Started to paint his white, fluffy brown. See, everybody makes mistakes. Let's see. This is a paper towel. A good paper towel. A clean paper towel. Fold it up as small as I can. I should probably leave it alone and just wait for it to dry and paint it white. But very often you can fix your mistakes with a little water. And at least it'll make it easier. All right, did I move this slot? You can still see good. All right, so what I forgot was saying when this little area in here. All right, so while we wait for that to dry, we want to mix a little bit of brown and a little bit of white. And even a little tiniest bit, the very tiniest bit of red. And we're going to make a flesh color. think I put too much brown. No, we don't need a lot. Let's see what this looks like. Starting on his ear. Yeah, that's a little dark. Let's lighten it up a little bit. That's alright. It's not my favorite flesh color I've made, but it's probably the shade of brown that I have. It's too red. Alright, honestly, I'm not gonna mess with it too much. Fix a little bit here. Let's see if this is dry enough to cover. Now I'm going to mix a slight, tiniest bit of gray. I was going to mix some of that gray and put it down here on the bottom parts of the mittens. It creates like a shadow. And then we can come back in with the white. Now that that's dried some, so I can put the shadow on there. And also here. And now, oh, we're almost done. It's actually looking pretty cool. We do need to do the white of his collar. So I have this metallic gold, but you can just use a regular, if you don't have metallic gold and you want to paint this. And I did put a tracer up there. You can use just regular gold. You can use just regular yellow. Mix a little brown with the yellow. And that'll give it a more of a goldish color. Now I'm going to take the brown again. And I'm going to draw the string. Bring that all the way up. There you go. And I'm going to use a little bit of brown to just create these. So now this background is drier. I'm going to try and do some more of the lighting. See what we can get. Some brighter. And maybe a little bit of the blue and white. See how this works. I think I need to mix more. don't have hardly anything down here. Alrighty, I think that's enough of that. So now we're pretty much almost done. I just got to add some highlights. So what we're going to do, try and get a good point on this. Probably should use a little brush. And for his eyebrows. I don't know. What do you think? Let you get a close look at it. See if I can adjust this. Alrighty. So anyway, it's still very wet, but I'm dropping it. All right. So let me know in the comments if you think that we should do this at a painting party. It was fun. It took 50 minutes-ish, 45 minutes for me. Of course, you know, a party takes a little bit longer. Let me know in the comments if you want to do this more often. I'm kind of thinking that I would like to do this. I would love to do it weekly, but with my schedule currently, that it would be challenging. But maybe bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks, maybe, for now. Come the end of January, I shouldn't have any problem doing it weekly. But until I am not working late at night every night, then we'll see. Well, I'm going to give it a shot. If you like it, if you want to do this more often, like I said, I will, if you want to do this, I'll come up with a painting. I'll put up a tracer. I'm going to show you guys how to do a tracer, like how to transfer. I know I didn't explain that. And, but it is something I could do that for you guys, very shortly. If you guys have ideas and you say, like somebody said to me, I want to do an elf on the shelf. And normally I would not do anything that is like a copyrighted character, but it's kind of the reason why I mean, it's not exactly like an elf on a shelf. It's typical. It's just like an elf. And I hid most of his face. And so kind of working around that. But I try and stay away from copyrighted stuff. So anyway, let me know what you think. I kind of like it. I think it looks pretty neat. Let me know if you want to do this again. And stay safe out there. I know we're supposed to have some storms for those people who live in this area. If anyone even popped in, no, nobody's there. I don't. Oh, somebody was here. There were some people here. Yay! All right. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go and try and get my dogs out before it starts to rain. So, thanks for tuning in. If you have never followed my page, please do, and so you'll know when we have things like this coming up. It was fun. I enjoyed doing it. I really kind of like this. Eric, thank you for the idea. His daughter wanted to do elf on the shelf, so yeah, I think it's cute and whimsical. All right, well, I'm gonna sign off here, and if I can figure out how to do that, because I've not really done a live in forever. Okay, there it is. All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.